Just like a child, I live in wonderland. All my dreams are coming true.
Because sometimes your mind is on things other than the road. Toyota Safety Sense comes standard. The 2019 Toyota Corolla. Get 0% APR for 36 months on a new 2019 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
You're out. What's your opening day? Whether it's camping, hiking, biking, or fishing, start your season at Camping World. New 2019 travel trailers starting at only $99 per month during Camping World's opening day sales event. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com today.
Car wreck? Call Caldwell Wenzel.
Some accident victims never get the money they deserve simply because they don't know a lawyer.
Well, I'm Randall.
I'm Drew.
And I am Dee, and now you know 3.
If you've been injured, give us a call and we'll get started on your case today.
You don't pay us anything unless we get money for you.
That's our no-fee guarantee.
Call Caldwell Wenzel and get the no-fee guarantee. 444-7000. 444-7000.
No matter what you're looking for, with the Hyundai family of SUVs, everyone wins. The Hyundai Tucson is an IIHS top safety pick. The Santa Fe is Kelley Blue Book's lowest 5-year cost to own in its class. And the Kona is the 2019 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. All 3 were designed to blow away the competition. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Now, get up to $3,000 in total savings on the 2019 Tucson. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
After my car wreck, the insurance company tried to get me to settle for some small dough. I called the Alabama Hammer, and he hunted down the big bucks for me, $600,000.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, let me hunt down the big bucks for you. Call me right now.
Tiger Woods put on his 5th green jacket at the Masters in Augusta, Georgia today. It is one of the greatest comeback stories in sports as he overcame career-threatening back problems. It's Woods' first major title in 11 years and his first Masters win since 2005. Wow. The win puts Woods just 3 majors behind the all-time record holder, Jack Nicklaus. Officials are making their final security preparations for the 123rd Boston Marathon tomorrow morning. Earlier today, Mayor Marty Walsh discussed the safety plans for this year's marathon. Police, fire, and other agencies will be staked throughout the 26.2-mile route. Because the forecast calls for wind and rain, officials have eliminated the 25-minute gap between waves 3 and 4. This is intended to reduce the amount of time runners will have to wait to start the race in Hopkinton. For more than 40 years, Alaskans have celebrated the end of the winter ski season with sun and a whole lot of fun at the annual Spring Carnival and Slush Cup. The goal was to see who could slide across the water without falling in. As you can see, some people made it across the water just fine, and others, not so much. The Spring Carnival also includes a mountain bike race, tug of war, and the dummy downhill competition, whatever that is. All right. NBC 15 Law Call is up next. Every month, millions of Americans struggle to pay their bills. Many are forced to make tough decisions between utilities, medicine, and food. One big financial hit, like a job loss, an illness, or a car wreck, can be enough to push them over the edge. So is bankruptcy a sensible option? What are the different types and which is the best for your situation? What will happen to your home, your car, and your credit? If you're struggling with debt and thinking about bankruptcy as a way out, give us a call. We will take your questions live in just a few minutes.
Nice and quiet as we start off the work week. It'll be chilly tomorrow, but we're back in the 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Our weather maker rolls through on Thursday. Could have more powerful thunderstorms.
Chilly is right. It's very cold tomorrow morning. All right. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. NBC 15 Law Call is up next.
Come in and see the all-new Mullinax Ford of Mobile. Brand new showroom, same great staff. With our huge selection of new and used vehicles, you're sure to find the one that fits your needs. Come see us on Airport in West Mobile. Upfront pricing, no dealer fees. That's Mullinax.
Want the ultimate streaming experience? Switch to Extreme Internet and enjoy more of what you love on every screen. With 99.9% network reliability, fast speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig, and amplified Wi-Fi room to room, the difference is extreme. Switch today and get extreme internet for as low as $24.99 a month for 1 year, plus no contract required. Hurry, this limited time offer ends soon. Call 844-EXTREME2 for details.
Card declined? Usually a nightmare. Card declined when you're not the one using it. Huge relief. With Regions Lock It, you can get alerts when a transaction is blocked, so you can enjoy Taco Tuesday now and report the fraud later, because some things are bigger than banking.
Help protect what's most important with our family of safety technologies. The 2019 Nissan Rogue comes with automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection standard. Part of Nissan's Safety Shield 360. Protection you won't get from the 2019 CR-V or Equinox. Nissan Rogue, the safety tech you want and more.
Get here today. Save up to $4,000 on Rogue or get 0% financing for up to 60 months on 14 models.
Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Forget festivals. Have you been to a Rallies and Checkers Feastival? The headliner is tender, juicy steak for $2.49. We're talking Philly cheese steak on a juicy burger, smothered in cheese. Steak covered in French onion sauce and crispy onions on a sizzling beef patty and toasted bun. There's even steak loaded up on fries and melting with cheese. Everything's covered in steak. That's how you know it's a Feastival. The Feastival of Steak, just $2.49 each. Rallies and Checkers. Fast foodies know the deal.
Spring brings big savings at Eastern Shore Toyota. New Camrys and Corollas. Save up to $4,300 or get 0% financing plus a lifetime warranty. Eastern Shore Toyota.
Download the free NBC 15 News app. It's smarter, faster, and more interactive than ever. Customize your news however you want and play it back from your playlist whenever you want. You can select alerts, choose the type of stories, and get multiple weather and traffic views with just a touch. Search story archives or connect with favorite news personalities, and that's just the beginning. Get the NBC 15 News app today. Sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Mobile.
My teeth were in horrid condition, so I spent years talking like this, and then I found Aspen Dental. Having the denture lab on site, you can do everything there. I wish I had not waited 3 years, because the first time I stood in front of the mirror and I smiled, it felt like I was me again, and that was just the coolest feeling ever.
At Aspen Dental, we're all about yes. Like yes to same-day dentures with our on-site lab. Yes, dentures start at $3.99, and yes, we'll get you smiling in a day. Call now at 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Our truck lineup has gotten even better, from the 2019 Super Duty to the F-150 to the all-new 2019 Ford Ranger. Yes, you heard that right, the Ranger is back. Mullinex Ford has them all with low upfront pricing and no dealer fees. That's easy, that's Mullinex.
The following program is a paid commercial which has been paid for by the advertiser whose products and/or services are featured in this program. The following segment is sponsored by LawCall.
This is NBC 15 Law Call.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Law Call. We've got the answers to your legal questions. Here's what's coming up tonight on Law Call. We are talking about filing for bankruptcy. So, how does it work? Will you lose your home or your car? Will your credit be destroyed? If you have questions, give us a call, 877-622-1548. And when things go wrong, the insurance companies are supposed to have your back, right? So what are your options when they don't live up to their end of the bargain? Attorney Alan Ritchie explains a little later in the show. Joining us tonight is Attorney Bill Island from the law firm of Island and Ritchie, as he does every Sunday night. We're talking bankruptcy tonight. I always get a lot of questions about bankruptcy. Unfortunately, a lot of people, face this situation. They don't know what to do. They've come on hard times, and it's a tough situation.
Oh, it is. Yeah, and if you've ever watched the show, you know that I am the foremost expert in bankruptcy in this area of the state of Alabama. And that's a joke. I know very little about bankruptcy, and that's why we always have an expert when it comes to this topic, because it is as confusing of an area of the law that you can possibly imagine. And so if you ever consider bankruptcy, you need to have a sure enough expert. When it comes to bankruptcy, you do not need to go to someone like me, who's an injury lawyer or a divorce lawyer. You need a bankruptcy lawyer, someone who specializes in this area, because it's tricky. You've got all these different options, Chapter 7, 11, 13, and we'll explain what those mean tonight. But if you have any questions at all about bankruptcy, give us a call.
All right, and we do have an email from a viewer. Shauna asked, my cousin was hit by a delivery truck that went full speed through a stop sign, His car was smashed into pieces and he died after 5 days in the hospital. Where do we start with something like this?
Yeah, and first of all, I mean, absolutely horrible. You know, my heart goes out to you and your family. First of all, in a situation like this, the first thing that you need to do is go see a lawyer. And it's not because, you know, here I am being an ambulance chaser and saying, hey, you need to, you know, go hire a lawyer immediately. When it's something like this, when there's, you know, whenever there's a serious injury, and especially when there's a death, and especially when there is a company vehicle involved, there is no two ways about it. You need to go see an expert about this, because you can bet your bottom dollar the other side, they have trained professionals that are going to be evaluating this case and try to minimize the damage. As far as monetary damage, they're going to try to minimize that as much as they can, and if they can get out of it by showing that somehow, you know, they were not at fault, you know, whatever the situation. And based on the facts that you stated in your email, I can't imagine that they could get out of this, but you need to find someone that can help you through this to find out what the insurance coverage is with the company, perhaps with the driver individually, and then also uninsured motorist coverage. But absolutely, something this serious you need to have professional help in a hurry.
And how does it work when someone is passed away? Is the estate of that person filing the lawsuit? How does that play out when it's family members trying to recover?
Yeah, and first of all, yeah, and that's a great question actually, and especially I think this email said that this person was a cousin. First of all, you need to have all of your family members in line with each other as to who's in charge, who's going to be calling the shots. We've had many cases before where someone has been killed in an accident. The family comes to us only to find out that the person that was killed was married and, you know, may have been, you know, separated for 5 or 6 years, and the spouse may live in a different state, but that spouse may have actually, you know, the right to be able to call the shots as to what to do, what lawyer to hire, and things of that nature. So the first thing you need to do is all the family members need to be on the same page as to what to do, and then an estate will be opened, and whoever the representative of that estate is, they will, you know, act in turn with the case and all of that. So the money will be collected by the estate at the end of the day, and then it will be dispersed accordingly to the heirs and things of that nature.
All right. Well, again, tonight we're taking your questions about bankruptcy. Phone lines are open right now. If you have a question, go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah, and our guest tonight, Lacey Robertson, there she is. She's a good friend of ours. This is the first time she's been on the show, but this is, you know, when I was kidding earlier about me being an expert, which I know very little about bankruptcy, but Lacey, she is an expert with this. This is what she does, so we're extremely happy to have her.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
All right, thanks so much for being on the panel. And I understand we've got several callers on the line right now, so let's go ahead and take a call. We've got Bob on the line. Hey there, Bob. What is your question tonight?
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, my question is for Bill and Lacey. Lacey, when should a person file for bankruptcy?
Bob, it depends on your situation. So the main thing is you don't want to wait too long. There's timing issues. So if your vehicle's about to be repossessed or your house is about to foreclose on, we need to move quickly to get you the court protection, because as soon as you file, you get the automatic stay, and that's the court's bankruptcy protection. So if you wait too long, you may not be able to get that full protection.
Well, let's say that the house and the car is not really an issue, but because sometimes I hear, you know, maybe somebody's got $30,000 in credit card debt or medical bills. So what other considerations besides just your house and car should somebody take into consideration?
So we have to look at your overall circumstances. We want to look at your credit report, if you're paying your bills late, are you being sued, are you being garnished? Those are things you really want to, we want to help you with. Sometimes you come into the office and we're like, no, you really don't need to file right now. But it's really important to get in for the consultation. Get in to see an attorney. If it's not our office, go and see another attorney. If you're losing sleep at night because you can't pay your bills, then come in and see somebody.
Right.
And I've heard that where if you're facing foreclosure, you file for bankruptcy and it just kind of stops the process. Are people able to recover in that situation, be able to keep their homes, or how long does it stop that process, and does it allow you to kind of catch your breath and get caught up on your payments?
Yes, so when you file a bankruptcy, a creditor cannot foreclose on you. So what that means is we need to file before there's a foreclosure sale. Chapter 13 is a really good option that will let you catch up your missed house payments through a bankruptcy payment plan and get you back on track. And then you can keep your house, start back on your payments, get back on your feet. It'll give you that time you need to be able to make those monthly payments and save your house.
Lacey, I had somebody a year or so ago call me and they said, well, my house is being foreclosed on and I guess it's too late to file bankruptcy, but they had just received the letter that their house was going to be foreclosed on. That's not the foreclosure, correct?
No, that's not.
It's the actual sale. So you can file bankruptcy up until the date of the sale. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
If we can file your case before the foreclosure sale takes place, then that will stop the foreclosure.
Okay. We've got Scott on the line from Gulf Shores. Hey there, Scott. What's your question tonight?
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Hello. My question is, I had gotten behind on my bills because of a surgery that I had, and I have been in contact with my bank, my credit card companies, and they will not work with me on reducing my payment until I can get caught back up or, deferring some payments. And I was just wondering, why will they not try to work with you? It seems like they want you to go into bankruptcy.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
I've thought of that myself. I mean, we have a lot of personal injury clients that they're saying the same thing as Scott. And you would think that the hospital or the doctor's office would want to work with them because if they file bankruptcy, they're not.
You don't see anything.
They're not going to get much of anything.
It doesn't make sense sometimes. I hear that a lot from clients that come in my office. I don't know the answer why. I don't know why the creditors won't work with you more when you're going through a tough time. That may be just the policy of the individual collectors, but that's a really tough situation because you couldn't help, what happened with the medical situation.
Is that a trend that you're seeing or that you're noticing with?
I've seen it. I've been practicing now for 25 years, and I think it's always been that way. I think a lot of times they're just calling people's bluff, and where they don't expect that you're going to go into bankruptcy, that you've got too many assets or what have you. But sometimes I've got a case right now where my client has $300,000 in medical bills and no health insurance, no anything. And so, in a lot of cases, people are left with no choice but to file bankruptcy. And a lot of times the doctors and hospitals, just because they won't work with people, sometimes they wind up holding the bag at the end of the day.
And so what kind of, I know that there's different ways to file bankruptcy, but in a situation like that, when you've got 6 figures of medical debt, is there a way just to erase that, or are there different ways that you file and then you ultimately pay some of it back, or how?
Well, there are 2 kind of bankruptcy plans that somebody can generally choose from. Chapter 7 will allow you to sort of wipe out your debt, try to get a fresh start. So it's going to clear out your medical bills and your credit cards. Chapter 13 will allow us to do a repayment plan. That's a really good option to catch up your house or to restructure your debts, like your vehicle loans. And it's individualized. Some people are going to qualify for one option. Some might be able to choose between both. You really have to look at your overall circumstances to figure out what you can do.
Okay. All right, we're going to take just a quick break. We'll be back with more of your questions. Stay with us.
Never take our weather for granted.
If you're sitting in Orange Beach, you're looking at that.
The NBC 15 weather team is constantly tracking our next big weather maker.
We're tracking a lot of changes this week.
Then highlighting dangerous conditions with street-level tracking designed to keep you safe.
There's Lott Road, Moffett Road. This is moving off to the north.
NBC 15 weather is watching out for you.
Ford is built for spring. So if you want low financing and big cash back on the SUVs, #1 in brand loyalty, get a Ford. If you want to save more on the brand with more SUVs on the road today, get a Ford. If you want the best deal of the season, get a Ford. during the Ford Spring Sales Event. Now, get 0 for 60 on Escape, Edge, Explorer, and Expedition. Or get $3,500 on Escape.
Most dentists perform only a few services. To get root canals, they send you here. For braces, you go here. For wisdom teeth, you go here. And on and on and on and on. Not so at Comfort Dental Care and Orthodontics. Virtually every dental procedure is performed in one office, saving time and stress. And that'll put a smile on your face. Comfort Dental Care and Orthodontics. There's no fear here.
And now, during Truck Month, save the big bucks on every Terry Thompson Chevrolet Silverado in stock at Terry Thompson Chevrolet in Daphne.
Bad weather is news that affects everybody. So when storms are on the horizon, the NBC 15 weather team kicks it into high gear.
Tracking storms today. You want to
protecting our viewers by keeping them in the know. We are NBC 15.
I was arguing with Jeff, and that's when Ed comes out with a pipe. Next thing you know, I'm on the ground.
Judge Judy. Monday at 4 on NBC 15. Welcome back to NBC 15 Law Call with host and award-winning broadcaster Andrea Ramey, plus guidance from the Alabama personal injury law firm of Island & Ritchie. Island & Ritchie with millions of dollars awarded to its clients. Attorney Bill Island, born and raised in Mobile, used to work for the insurance companies. Now he fights against them. And legal insight from attorney Alan Ritchie. Now, your rights, your calls, live. NBC 15 Law Call.
Following just a few simple steps could make a huge difference in your car wreck claim. Personal injury attorney Alan Ritchie explains in tonight's Alan's Answers.
I fight insurance companies all the time. Most are pretty good, but occasionally I find one that just will not pay on a valid claim. Fortunately, Alabama has two solutions, but none of them are easy nor quick. Here are the two most common solutions: sue for breach of contract and sue for bad faith. Now, breach of contract means they didn't do what the contract says. The balance is in your favor if it involves your home because, well, you can collect for mental anguish. Now, a lawsuit on bad faith, that's better. That's when they refuse to investigate a claim or they make something up to deny a payout altogether. Here you can collect both mental anguish plus an amount to punish the insurance company, so hopefully they won't do this to anyone else. Insurance companies can use complex language to deny a claim and leave you in a real bind. At the very least, consult an attorney and see what your rights are. For more information, go to our website, erlawfirm.com. I'm personal injury attorney Alan Ritchie. Back to you.
All right, let's get straight to the phone lines. We've got Beasley on the line from Mobile. Hey there, Beasley. What's your question tonight?
Hey, Beasley.
Hey, Beasley.
Yes, I have medical bills as well, and I offered the collection agency money, and they don't accept my money anymore. So what do I do?
Well, Beasley, what I would suggest is go ahead and come in and see somebody, especially if they're threatening you with garnishment. Look at your options, see what we or another attorney might be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Unfortunately, the bill collectors, you try your best and you've made what payments you can. Unfortunately, sometimes the bill collectors just aren't willing to take that, and you just have to take another step to see what you can do.
And the common thing we hear from our clients is, and I had a lady tell me not long ago, said, well, you know, I owe the hospital $10,000, but as long as I send them $25 a month, they're obligated to accept that. And that's not true.
No, that's not true.
That doesn't sound right now.
No, you can set up a payment plan, and a lot of times you can set up a payment plan and pay that. And a lot of hospitals are very good about working with you on that, but it doesn't mean they have to, and it also doesn't mean that they can't stop that in the middle of the agreement. In other words, you could, for 5 years, you could be sending them $100 a month, and then all of a sudden, the collector says, well, we're not going to take that anymore. You need to pay everything in full, and unless you tell me otherwise. They have, unfortunately, the bill collectors have every right to say that. And then
they do.
Right. And then it's just a point of whether you need to file bankruptcy at that point.
So how does it work you know, to go in to see an attorney, people who already, you know, are struggling financially, you know, some people might be thinking, well, I can't afford an attorney on top of all of this. So how do the fees work when someone's facing bankruptcy and need an attorney?
The great thing about bankruptcy is there's not necessarily a lot of upfront costs. To do a Chapter 13 payment plan, your attorney's fees, your court filing fee are included in the payment plan, so you're doing a very small credit counseling that's not that expensive. The consultation's free. At my office and most attorneys' offices that I know, they do a free consultation. We'll sit down with you, we'll go over all your bills, your credit report, your income, your expenses, and really try to come up with a plan, because it's very personalized. Bankruptcy, everybody's got a different situation and everybody's got a different ability to pay or not to pay, and we really just have to look at your circumstances.
And that's why it's so important just to check, because I can, you know, talk from experience as far as sending people to Lacey and to other bankruptcy lawyers. About half of the people that I send to these lawyers, ultimately they'll call me back and say and tell me that the bankruptcy lawyer said, I'm not a good candidate, I shouldn't file bankruptcy, I'm not in dire straits enough to file bankruptcy. And that's, you know, that's what you want to hear from a lawyer. You don't want to go to someone who's just going to take your money and then file bankruptcy when you really don't need it. And so the mark of a good lawyer and a good law firm in this area is ones that will look at, you know, your situation and then tell you honestly whether you need to file bankruptcy or not.
And just privacy concerns, who's going to know about your bankruptcy and all your financial problems if you go that route? I'm sure that some people, you know, might be kind of embarrassed to have to file, or think that's a shortcoming on their end and don't want other people to know their business. So what all is made public when you file for bankruptcy?
Well, so when you file bankruptcy, and it's a tough decision to make. Bankruptcy is a public record, so that information is available through the federal court system. But you know, there's just, you know, sometimes you need that help and you really can't worry about, they're not going to have your social security number out on the public record. They're not going to have personal information like that, but there will be information about your filing. But really and truly, people are not sitting around looking for that information.
Yeah, who gets like direct, do any people get like direct notification of your bankruptcy?
Your creditors.
Just your creditors
okay. will get the notification.
So unless
those are the people we want to get it.
Okay,
yeah.
So unless people are just thumbing around on Pacer and looking up names, they're not going to stumble across
they're not going to stumble
bankruptcy
across
filings. Okay, all right, we're going to head to break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
How did we test our Dixie Ultra plates? With 2 pounds of steak in each hand. Dixie Ultra. Stress tested so you can stress less at dinner.
Easter is our favorite time of year. We get dressed up.
We go to church.
Where do we get our clothes?
Burlington.
We get quality name brand clothes at Burlington's low prices. Wow.
Happy Easter!
Ford is built for spring. So if you want low financing and big cash back on America's best-selling truck, get a Ford. Want to save more on the highest-ranked large heavy-duty pickup and initial quality? Get a Ford. Want the only adventure gear built Ford tough? Get a Ford. Want the best deals of the season? Get to the Ford Spring Sales Event. Just announced, get 0 for $72 on a 2019 F-150 or get over $10,300 in total savings.
Download the free NBC 15 News app. It's smarter, faster, and more interactive than ever. Customize your news however you want and play it back from your playlist whenever you want. You can select alerts, choose the type of stories, and get multiple weather and traffic views with just a touch. Search story archives or connect with favorite news personalities, and that's just the beginning. Get the NBC 15 News app today. Sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Mobile.
Forget festivals. Have you been to a Rallies and Checkers Feastival? The headliner is tender, juicy steak for $2.49. We're talking Philly cheese steak on a juicy burger, smothered in cheese. Steak covered in French onion sauce and crispy onions on a sizzling beef patty and toasted bun. There's even steak loaded up on fries and melting with cheese. Everything's covered in steak. That's how you know it's a Feastival. The Feastival of Steak, just $2.49 each. Rallies and Checkers. Fast foodies know the deal.
All right, join us next Sunday night when we will be taking your questions about distracted driving. I believe we have a state trooper coming on the panel to answer those questions. April 28th, Bill's specialty, slips, trips, and falls, otherwise known as premises liability.
That's
right. Okay.
Fancy word.
May 5th, we open it up talking about all about injuries, any kind of injury. If you have any additional questions for Attorney Lacey Robertson, you can reach her at 251-342-0264, or you can always go online to hermandpaget.com. If you have any additional questions for Bill Island, Alan Ritchie, or Jason Steele, they can be reached here in Mobile, 251-666-1212, or you can go online to erlawfirm.com. All right, just a few minutes left in the show, and I'm just curious. People who come into your office, you must be able to kind of pinpoint some of the more common mistakes that people make as they're, approaching the question of, do I need to file for bankruptcy? So what are maybe some tips that you could pass along, just some common mistakes that you see people make?
I mean, I think the first mistake is just waiting too long to make that call. Don't be scared to come in. Nobody's going to jump on you if you come in. We're there to help. We're going to go over your finances, and we're going to see what your options are. You have no obligation, but find out. It doesn't help to lose sleep every night or to worry. Stress is, affects everything, your health, your family relationships. So if you're feeling that stress, go ahead and come in. And sometimes timing is very important. We need you to come in before the repo person wants to take your car, or before the mortgage company is going to foreclose. Come in before they're going to garnish your wages. Go ahead and be proactive. Make that first step.
Okay. All right. We've got Kimberly on the line from Mobile. Hey there, Kimberly. What is your question?
Hey, Kimberly.
Hi. How you doing?
You're doing great.
Fine.
Thanks.
I was trying to find out. My mother had bought some furniture from a store that closed. Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're live on LawCall. Go ahead.
Oh, she had bought some furniture from a furniture store that closed, and another company took over. She fell behind not being able to pay, and so she went to see a lawyer about filing bankruptcy, and the lawyer told her at that time that they didn't feel that she needed to file bankruptcy, so she wasn't able to pay. The creditors told her that they didn't want the furniture back. She offered to give it back to them, that they weren't in the furniture business, and they just wanted the money. But she's not able to pay, so that's why she was going to file bankruptcy. So now they've been sending out a representative from that company to her house several times, and she's getting upset and nervous. So we want to know, do we need to file bankruptcy, or what are our options?
Yeah, Kimberly.
Good question.
Kimberly, that can be hard because, if that's the only creditor that's given you problems, the problem may be maybe there's not enough debt there. There's a cost to filing bankruptcy, and sometimes we don't want to put somebody in bankruptcy that doesn't need to be there. But that's horrible creditor coming out to the house. Maybe see somebody else and just get a second opinion. That would be my suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And if it's a couple and they're facing these issues, do both people have to file for bankruptcy, or do you see situations where people split up to try to hide assets and that kind of thing? Like what?
We hope not.
Right, but I mean, like what do you see in those situations?
Only couples do not have to file together. Sometimes it is beneficial to do that because when you're married, most of the time you're going to have joint debts, joint liabilities. So it may be better to file together, but we just look at both options. But no, if you're married, you do not have to file together.
Okay, yeah. Some people may think that that may be a misconception that, we'll get divorced and then try to hide, some financials
You can never try to hide assets because you can get in trouble for that.
Right.
This is in federal court.
This is in federal court, and you do not want to commit perjury. So it's very important. The paperwork you're signing is very important.
Okay.
Yeah, and one thing that I would like to add, because you brought it up, as far as like joint, I've got a couple of cases right now, automobile injury cases where the husband is in bankruptcy but the wife is not, or vice versa. And so absolutely you can do it separate. But one thing I wanted to leave everyone with is if you are in bankruptcy and if you have an automobile accident, you need to let your bankruptcy lawyer know, because that claim that you have is an asset. And so a lot of times when you settle your case, a lot of times some of my clients that are automobile clients or slip and falls or what have you, and they receive a personal injury settlement, that money does not go to them directly. It goes to the bankruptcy court. So whether you are already in bankruptcy, let's say you're in bankruptcy and then you have an automobile accident or some other injury, whatever personal injury lawyer you need that you go to, the first thing you need to let them know is that you're in bankruptcy, so that personal injury lawyer can do everything necessary, and vice versa. If you file bankruptcy first and then do it, or vice versa, you need to let them know and let your bankruptcy lawyer know, because things can really get messed up.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Lacey, thank you so much for being on the panel. We hope you return. Bill, thank you as always. Bill will be on our noon news show tomorrow, taking more of your questions. Otherwise, we'll see you next Sunday night taking your questions on distracted driving.
Greg, this is impressive on the pinpoint Doppler radar.
Once again, NBC 15 Weather is certified the most accurate weather forecast on the Gulf Coast by Weather Rate.
It's going to be moving towards Robertsdale in about 2 minutes.
Earning your trust with our Code Red Days, designed to keep you safe.
Areas you need to be in your tornado shelters right now.
Protecting and alerting you and your family to the next big weather maker. Code Red Days and NBC 15, proven as the most accurate weather forecast on the Gulf Coast.
Terry Thompson Chevrolet is a locally family-owned business, and that's the reason I continue to buy there.
As soon as you walk in the door here at Terry Thompson Chevrolet, you know you're in a family atmosphere.
Family, that's what it's all about at Terry Thompson Chevrolet in Daphne.
Find out why people watch News On to get the latest news and weather from different areas around the country.
Shut down. 7's Jake Korf with the shocking details.
Over 200 stations, local news, anytime, anywhere. Watch for free on your Roku device today.
Gun violence is plaguing the port city.
Where did the fist fight go? You just don't punch a guy that's got a 9mm.
NBC 15 News sheds light on the deadly violence.
It's something that is driving this, and we don't know what it is.
The new WAAY Mobile Police could make our streets safer, defending your safety. We are NBC 15 News.
Kick off your shoes, stay right there. Sit yourself down in an easy chair. Buck's gonna give us a taste of the outdoor life. We got ducks to hunt and fish to catch. He might even take us to a shooting match. Let's join Buck for a bit of the outdoor life. Now, if you've been wishing for a little fun, Buck's gonna show us how it's done. There's no better time in the world, you know, than Buck McNeely's outdoor show. We got high adventure with a natural flair. You can see it all from your favorite chair. Let's join Buck for a taste of the outdoor life.